are not very good. But simple knight f3. And if bishop takes h3 or bishop takes c4, then the right move here is not knight takes e5 because of bishop e6, but actually bishop h3. So now the idea is to stop the bishop from retreating. So f5, knight e5. Oh no, sorry, b3, bishop e4, bishop e2, bishop d5, e4. So this is a strong move too. So now if pawn takes pawn, so the idea is this rook is going to get lost. The queenside castle, take, 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 take. Okay, so if you count up the material, black has 6 pawns to 5, and we're up the exchange right now. We have a rook for a knight, but we have the 2 bishops, so this should be very strong for white. So you see how that innocuous endgame can kind of lead to problems for black. But yeah, it starts with playing a quick d4 when black plays pawn moves. So so I'll show you another example of that. c4, e5, knight c3, d6, again, d4. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so let's talk about this now. So c4, e5, knight c3, knight f6, knight f3, knight c6, g3, d5, take, take, bishop g2. So this is like a classical dragon. Castle. Oh, by the way, if bishop e7, this wins a pawn, because I'm threatening this. So if you take here, I take here. If you take here, I take here. And this wins a pawn. So knight b6 is necessary to remove this knight from attack. So castle, bishop e7. Okay. So this is another typical type of position coming from the English where it's a reverse Sicilian. So again, we want to play b4 quickly. So a3. And here black castles. If black plays a5, the problem is that he weakens the queen side far too much. So if black tries to energetically stop b4, he gets punished. So I'll show you quickly how d3, castle, bishop e3, bishop e6. So he weakens this square, but he also weakens this square. And now knight a4. So now we're just threatening this square. So knight a4, queen a4, bishop d5, rook fc1, rook e8. And then simply just double rook c2, rook c1. And I actually went over this as one of the guess the moves, but rook takes c7 was played. But yeah, this is a very famous game. And it shows you why a5 is bad. Okay. So instead, if castle, okay, then we get b4 in. So bishop b6, b1. No, this is not my game. It's me teaching English. So f6 and d3. Okay. So this is kind of like a tabia of the position, or sorry, of the variation. So white's expanded on the queen side, but black has a little bit more space in the center. So basically, what black or what white's going to be doing is something like bishop e2, queen c2, rook f c1, and then maybe like knight e4 to c5, and then maybe b5. And then meanwhile, black's going to be doing like queen d7, rook a d8, maybe a knight d4, stuff like that. So I'll just show you quickly what could happen. So queen d7, knight e4, knight d5, queen c2, oops, c2, e6. So he's trying to keep a piece out of c5 now. But unfortunately, it weakens this square. So bishop e2, rook a c8. And now the question of which rook to c1. The answer is it's actually going to be the b rook. So rook b c1. So the reason is this rook actually wants to go to d1 to prepare d4. Because d4 will help break open the position in white's favor. So to prevent that, white plays knight d4, or black plays knight d4, so bishop d4, e4, and now queen c6. And now white's better, because black has targets on d4 and c7, and this bishop is going to be a monster pretty soon, and these knights are better than these black bishops. So white's better here. So that's an example of how it can go. But basically, your idea with the English is to, in general, get some queenside expansion via a3, b4, and provoke weaknesses in the queenside for your pieces and your rooks. Why not knight d4? Well, knight d4 is just not good. Knight b4, a b4, queen d4. This is fine for black. So, um, so yeah. So there's the English in a nutshell.